Chosen one, I need you to stop scrolling I am immediately. Listen to me very carefully. This is not the algorithm playing a random video. This message found you today because the universe is staging a massive spiritual intervention in your current timeline. Someone close to you just made a fatal mistake. They assumed you were far too distracted to notice the mask slipping, but heaven made sure you saw it clearly. You have been feeling inexplicably heavy and exhausted lately. Your mind has been spinning in endless circles trying to figure out if you did something wrong. I need you to know that you did not do anything wrong. The tension you feel in the air right now is not your anxiety acting up. It is the spiritual frequency shifting violently around you. The people who secretly plotted against you are finally starting to panic and lose their control. They both slipped up about you in the most revealing way possible, and they have absolutely no idea what they just exposed to the light. Funny how everyone pretended they did not see you coming. Funny how they always described you as the weak one in the group. They labeled you as the empath who would always forgive and forget, assuming you would simply tolerate their endless disrespect. They took your deep patience as a sign of sheer stupidity. They drained your precious energy, hoping you would stay blind. And because of that gross miscalculation, they severely underestimated the immense spiritual power you carry. They pushed you into extreme isolation, thinking it would break you. But what they did not realize was that solitude was your ultimate training ground. You did not break. You evolved into the untouchable master of your reality. And right now, they are absolutely terrified of the quiet authority you naturally hold. They slipped up because fear makes manipulative people incredibly sloppy. They whispered behind your back and laid toxic traps completely disguised as friendly advice. But the universe intercepted their malicious transmission. Your sacred energy field remained entirely unbroken by their lies. I need you to understand exactly what is happening behind the scenes. Do not swipe away from this vital message. If you leave this screen now, you will shut the door on the divine revelation your soul has been desperately begging for. The intense spiritual attacks you faced over the last 12 months were not random coincidences. They were desperate attempts to keep you blind to your true value. They knew that if you ever woke up to your power, their game was over. You are the rare soul who survived the storm completely alone. You walked through the blazing fire while they sat and watched you burn. And now they are watching the dark ashes fall away from you as you rise. They fully expected you to come out of that situation bitter, hoping you would be angry and reactive. But instead, you came out of the fire entirely silent. And your profound silence is the absolute loudest weapon you could have ever forged. When you stopped explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you, you broke their control over your life. That is precisely why they made their fatal error recently. They tried to provoke you one last time. They played the helpless victim while actively holding the bloody knife behind their back. But this time, you did not play along with their toxic delusion. You simply watched them expose themselves. Your absolute refusal to engage caused their false reality to glitch. In that moment of sheer panic, they revealed their true colors. Heaven allowed this painful situation to happen so you could see the truth. I promise you that you are not going crazy. Your spirit accurately detected the counterfeit energy the very moment they confidently walked into the room. You just needed the undeniable physical proof. Now you hold that exact proof in your hands. But there is a hidden message inside this recent betrayal that you will completely miss if you turn away too soon. The people who tried to dim your light were unconsciously responding to a specific divine frequency radiating from your brilliant mind, a frequency that deeply threatens their fake foundations. There is a massive gap between the immense spiritual power you carry and the physical reality you are currently experiencing. You have already done all the heavy lifting alone in the dark, yet you still feel like an invisible barrier is holding back the financial and emotional freedom you rightfully deserve. That invisible barrier actually has a specific scientific name, and it has absolutely nothing to do with your faith or your worthiness as a human being. The universe is preparing to orchestrate a massive transfer of generational wealth directly into your life. But you must understand the hidden mechanics of this final trap. So I am asking you to make a sacred promise to your future self right now. Please put your phone down on a stable surface. Anchor your spirit firmly in this exact present moment. You are about to step into a glorious era where your mere presence demands absolute respect without a single word spoken. Stay locked onto this frequency until the very last second. Because what I am going to reveal next will give you the exact physical key to flip the entire script on your enemies. Welcome to your brand new era of untouchable power. Prepare yourself to hear the shocking truth they desperately tried to hide from you. I need you to take one deep, slow breath right now. Let your tired shoulders finally drop. You have been carrying the massive weight of other people for far too long. And every morning when you wake up, that familiar heaviness is already sitting directly on your chest before your eyes open. You constantly push through the exhausting pain. You politely smile for them. But inside, you are barely holding on. I completely see you. Heaven sees your silent, lonely struggle. Even when no one else recognizes your daily sacrifice, the universe is keeping a detailed record. Your intuition about those fake people was entirely correct from the very beginning. You felt that weird, unexplainable sickness in your stomach whenever they texted you. Your body was desperately trying to warn you about their dark intentions. Stop convincing yourself that you are just being overly sensitive. You are not delusional. They deliberately used cruel gaslighting techniques to make you doubt your own brilliant mind. They fed you tiny crumbs of fake affection while secretly draining your precious spiritual energy. And when you finally tried to set a healthy boundary, they acted like you committed a terrible crime. They played the victim perfectly. Do not blame yourself for trusting them. You are an empath with a profoundly beautiful heart. You naturally assumed they possessed the same pure intentions that you carry inside. That was your innocence, not your inherent weakness. But a healed person no longer tolerates utter confusion disguised as love. And you absolutely refuse to accept blatant disrespect disguised as brutal honesty. You are finally waking up. Your current season of deep isolation is absolutely not a punishment. The sudden loss of those toxic friendships was actually a rigorous divine protection protocol. Heaven deliberately slowed your progress to protect you from entering dangerous rooms you were never meant to enter. They had to forcefully remove those parasitic connections from your daily life. Your sacred energy field required a complete reset. You frequently wake up at 3 in the morning with your mind racing uncontrollably. You feel completely drained after having ordinary social interactions. These are undeniable signs of a massive spiritual upgrade taking place. Tap the like button as an act of agreement with what the universe is revealing to you. You are simply shedding a heavy skin that no longer fits your expanding soul. Your transformation is real. You have always felt fundamentally different from everyone else. You are the anomaly in your family bloodline. While others cared about shallow gossip and material status, you craved deep, authentic, spiritual connection. This extreme sensitivity made you a massive target for energy vampires. They intentionally flocked to your bright light because they completely lacked their own internal illumination. You were their fuel. When you finally stopped providing that free emotional fuel, their masks slipped. They suddenly labeled you as selfish and difficult, and they intentionally ran a vicious smear campaign against your good name. And the absolute hardest part was watching mutual friends quietly side with the abuser. That devastating betrayal cut you deeper than any sword ever could. It forced you into a long period of dark, painful introspection. But despite surviving all this painful inner work, you still feel frustratingly stuck. You successfully cut off the toxic narcissists from your personal space. and you forgave the unforgivable betrayals to protect your own peace. Yet you watch other seemingly average people succeed effortlessly while you continue to struggle daily. It genuinely feels like you are constantly swimming against a massive, unseen current. You know deep down in your spirit that you carry much higher potential. You can literally feel the greatness waiting just beneath the surface of your skin. But your finances refuse to grow despite your relentless hard work, and learning new skills feels significantly slower and harder than it should. You feel entirely overlooked by life, as if the universe somehow forgot your designated address. It is utterly exhausting. Listen to me. The universe is not ignoring your desperate prayers. There is a much deeper layer to this confusing phenomenon. Before we go any further, I want to hold something very important in front of you. Something that was discovered not inside a quiet spiritual community, but inside a highly secure research laboratory. Something that won the absolute highest scientific recognition available in the world today. Most chosen ones have never been told about this crucial discovery, because it perfectly explains something you have felt intimately for your entire life. It explains that deeply frustrating gap, the gap between the magnificent person you know yourself to be and the limited version of you that only appears in rare flashes. The world deliberately suppressed your divine connection. I will show you exactly what they found. But not just yet. First, I really need you to fully understand what was violently taken from you as a young child. This specific knowledge will completely validate your lifelong struggle. So, I need you to hold on to this one vital question right now. What if the exhausting gap between your current reality and your divine destiny is not a personal character flaw? What if this energetic block actually has a scientific name? They did not target you because you were weak. They targeted you because your beautiful light was absolutely blinding to their dark eyes. Narcissists are completely empty vessels wandering in the dark, and they possess no internal source of divine energy to sustain themselves. So they desperately seek out brilliant souls like yours. They need to feed on your endless compassion just to survive their miserable day. Your mere presence exposed their deep insecurities. When you walked into a room, your pure energy highlighted their massive flaws. They secretly hated you for shining so effortlessly. So they systematically tried to dim your magnificent light. They wanted you to believe that your beautiful empathy was actually a dangerous mental illness, but it was just a cruel psychological projection. It was pure manipulation. They needed you to feel entirely dependent on their toxic validation. If you realized your true power, they knew you would walk away forever, so they kept you completely exhausted and spiritually drained. You fought back using every ounce of your strength, but you were fighting a relentless battle with one arm tied firmly behind your back. You were missing a vital piece. You spent years trying to figure out why you attracted these broken people. You blamed your kind heart and your willingness to forgive repeated offenses, but your kindness was never the root cause of this painful attraction. The abusers were drawn to a specific energetic mismatch inside your brain. You were a giant operating on a restricted frequency, and they exploited that limitation. Here is what they never told you. The reason the universe responds to certain people and not others is not blind faith, and it is certainly not about having rigid discipline or random earthly luck. It is a specific brainwave. Scientists have a clear name for it. They call it gamma, and it is the exact frequency your beautiful brain was running when you were a little child. Back then, your mind was entirely free. Ideas came to you effortlessly, and learning felt like a joyful game. You somehow knew things before they actually happened. The world felt like it was completely on your side, because your energy was perfectly aligned with the divine rhythm of creation. That was the raw power of the gamma frequency operating at peak capacity. You were a natural genius. Then adulthood suddenly arrived with all its heavy burdens, and the modern world went to work on your brilliant mind. The endless stress and the glowing screens began to take their terrible toll. The rigid school system trained you to carefully obey rather than to proudly create your own path. Every single year, this sacred frequency was pushed deeper and deeper below the conscious surface, until the highest version of you went completely silent. The version of you with photographic memory and lightning-fast intuition was securely locked away, while the kind of crazy luck that makes other people whisper in jealousy faded into absolute nothingness. When your gamma signal fades, your natural genius fades right along with it. Your sharp intuition dulls down to a faint whisper. The beautiful synchronicities suddenly stop happening in your daily life. The profound sense that the universe is actively working with you goes completely dark. And this is exactly when the toxic narcissists finally found you. They saw a chosen one operating on a severely suppressed mental frequency, and they eagerly moved in to take advantage of your spiritual blindness. They recognized your value. They mercilessly exploited the fact that your divine connection was blocked. You were running on pure survival mode instead of glorious creation mode. And survival mode is the exact playground where manipulative people thrive best. They easily convinced you that constant pain was just a normal part of love, conditioning you to settle for unacceptable behavior for years. Most people will live their entire lives without knowing this tragedy happened to them. They will just blindly accept the exhaustion and the toxic cycles without asking any important questions. But you are not most people. You are a designated cycle breaker, assigned to heal your family bloodline, and your spirit has been incredibly restless because it remembers the missing frequency. It knows exactly what was stolen from you. Your soul is desperately crying out for that lost childhood connection, and the question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago is vital right now. The question about a missing gap and a hidden scientific name. I promised to reveal the ultimate truth about this unseen barrier, and the final answer is much closer than you think. You have been trying to heal spiritual wounds using ordinary earthly tools. You read the popular books, and you dutifully did all the endless inner work. But you cannot fix a suppressed frequency simply by talking about your painful past trauma, because the root of the problem requires a completely different kind of energetic intervention. The universe is about to hand you the master key. The dark season of being a prime target for abusers is officially over. Your glorious light is preparing to turn back on at full blinding capacity. And when it does, the people who hurt you will run in absolute terror. Because a fully activated chosen one is the most dangerous force on this earth, and they are not prepared for your return. The restoration of your stolen power begins today. The dynamic has completely shifted in your favor. You finally stopped playing their twisted psychological game. You stopped explaining your pure intentions to them. And the exact moment you withdrew your sacred energy from their toxic arena, their entire false reality began to rapidly crumble. They fully expected you to scream and fight back. They desperately wanted a very loud emotional reaction, but you decided to give them absolutely nothing today. Your profound silence is absolutely destroying them inside. They are completely starving without your free emotional fuel. They literally do not know how to handle your unbothered peace. Because when you stop reacting to their carefully calculated provocations, you instantly strip away the only false power they ever held over you. They are frantically trying to figure out what went wrong. Their old manipulation tactics are entirely failing you now. They thought your quiet nature was a deep weakness. They foolishly assumed you would always crawl back to them. They were disastrously wrong about your true identity. The profound silence after the dark storm hits entirely different, when they finally realize you were the deadly storm all along. You did not retreat out of fear or sad defeat. You simply ascended to a frequency they cannot possibly reach. They are watching your life very closely right now. They use fake social accounts to monitor your steady progress. They constantly ask mutual friends for subtle updates about you, and it absolutely terrifies them to see you thriving and smiling beautifully without their toxic validation constantly anchoring you down to the floor. They deeply need you to fail to justify their own miserable existence. But you are shining brighter than ever before. You are completely and entirely untouchable in this era. You are the empath with absolute steel boundaries now. You became the sharp weapon you were initially trying to survive. You no longer tolerate clear disrespect, disguised as a funny joke. And the selfish people who benefited heavily from your previous lack of boundaries are absolutely furious about your new standards. Please let them be incredibly furious and bitter. Their bitter anger is just beautiful proof of your massive spiritual upgrade. Your mere presence alone instantly shifts the heavy atmosphere. You do not need to loudly announce your grand arrival anymore. Your quiet authority speaks entirely and powerfully for itself. When you walk confidently into a crowded room today, the low vibrational entities immediately feel deeply uncomfortable around your pure energy. They absolutely cannot look you directly in the eye. Your brilliant light brutally exposes the dark shadows they desperately hide. Welcome to your glorious new era of quiet authority. You are the ultimate master of your own reality today. You firmly hold the divine pen that writes your incredible future. But they were entirely blind to the profound hidden fact that you were a very rare seed carefully planted by the divine creator. They honestly thought they had buried you deep in the cold dirt. You are rapidly breaking the heavy cycles that plagued your family for generations. Your absolute silence has become a deeply lethal weapon. It completely terrifies them because they can no longer manipulate what they cannot access, and they are slowly realizing they lost their greatest source of pure light. You have firmly and permanently locked them out of your sacred kingdom. Type 111 down in the comments to actively claim this quiet authority. Please seal this profound energetic shift right now today. Show the watching universe you are absolutely ready to confidently lead. They are extremely loud and chaotic in their current lives. They are running around trying to desperately control the false narrative. They tell ridiculous lies to protect their incredibly fragile public image. But your peaceful silence carries the massive weight of absolute truth, and that divine truth does not need a loud and angry defense attorney. You just sit quietly while they completely exhaust themselves. Their desperate noise is actually their painful and public confession. They permanently lost the best thing that ever happened to them. They arrogantly took your endless loyalty for granted every single day. They thought your deep well of pure forgiveness would never run dry, but heaven stepped in and decisively shut off their free access to your healing living water to protect your beautiful soul. Now they are hopelessly wandering in a dry, barren desert of their own making. They are incredibly thirsty for your valuable attention. They are currently experiencing their own highly painful and heavy karma. Every toxic trap they set for you is rapidly snapping back on them. They are watching everything they built on dirty lies slowly crumble to dust. Meanwhile, a beautiful and abundant table is being actively prepared for you right in their very presence while they starve. You do not have to lift a single physical finger for sweet revenge. Heaven is expertly handling it all for you today. You are the chosen one who boldly broke the heavy family chains. You bravely stepped out of the toxic cycle and flatly refused to go back. You chose your own sacred peace over their chaotic and comfortable familiarity. And that incredibly difficult choice sent a massive shockwave directly through the entire spiritual realm, while the enemy watched in absolute horror. The heavenly angels stood up and proudly applauded your incredible bravery. You finally chose to deeply love yourself today. The heavy darkness is finally lifting from your beautiful life. The intense spiritual purge you just went through was absolutely brutal, but it successfully cleared the toxic debris from your immediate environment. And while the painful process almost broke your spirit entirely, heaven is now actively preparing your physical vessel to receive a truly massive blessing. You can actually feel the air getting lighter around you today. Your long season of lonely suffering is almost complete. You might feel a little strange and ungrounded right now. That is just the physical sensation of your old heavy skin falling away forever. The deep emotional blockages that violently stopped your incoming blessings are rapidly dissolving. You bravely did the incredibly hard inner work entirely alone when the dark storm hit. You survived the brutal isolation when everyone else walked away from you. But doing the painful inner work is only the first part of this divine equation. They actually knew exactly what they were doing to your bright energy. They purposefully created constant drama to keep your nervous system trapped in a low vibration. And as long as you were constantly reacting to their petty and childish games, you simply could not access your higher mental functions. You were completely distracted from your true divine purpose. But their toxic little games simply do not work on you anymore. You perfectly aligned your pure spirit with the highest heavenly frequencies, but you still feel deeply exhausted and physically drained every single day. We must finally address the critical physical mechanism I mentioned to you earlier. It is the exact missing gap that explains why you still feel like a powerful engine running on completely empty fuel. The universe always requires a perfect harmony between your bright spirit and your physical mind. I have to tell you something incredibly critical today. The elite people absolutely do not want you to ever know this powerful truth. A dedicated team of quiet neuroscientists finally discovered something completely incredible. They found a specific scientific way to successfully bring your dormant childhood brainwave back to vibrant life, and it works faster than anyone ever imagined. The secret is finally out in the open. They did not use years of incredibly difficult meditation. Most busy people simply cannot sustain that exhausting daily practice. They did not rely on expensive biofeedback machines that cost $7,000 in a cold clinic. They found something far simpler and much more aligned with your beautiful natural design. They utilized a highly specific sound frequency engineered to gently guide your brainwave patterns back to absolute perfection. This unique frequency gently guides your tired brain back to your original genius state. Princeton University carefully studied this profound neurological phenomenon in their modern labs. The Einstein Center in Berlin officially confirmed its incredible hidden power, and researchers at Columbia University found that when this specific brainwave is fully restored, it actually radiates outward to positively influence your loved ones. It is a true modern miracle. It begins working the very first time you sit down to listen, and it takes exactly 7 short minutes a day to achieve this glorious elevated state. I will tell you exactly what this powerful tool is called and how to access it before this message ends. I absolutely promise you will receive the full key today. But first, there is something else you need to fully understand about your delayed breakthrough. Your brilliant brain was unfairly trapped in a relentless survival mode for years. When your body is constantly surviving, you cannot possibly manifest the massive generational wealth heaven has reserved for you. The creative alpha and gamma states were totally locked behind a heavy wall of chronic daily stress. You were desperately trying to fly while carrying a mountain of heavy rocks on your tired back. It was completely unfair. This physical block is exactly why the bad luck seemed to follow you everywhere. It was never a cursed bloodline or a cruel punishment from an angry creator. It was just a simple frequency mismatch happening deep inside your physical brain. Your pure soul desperately wanted to soar, but your nervous system was tightly chained to the cold ground. You were completely out of energetic alignment for years. Now that heavy metal chain is being completely and permanently shattered. The spiritual purge successfully removed the toxic energy vampires from your sacred space. And this new scientific revelation will finally remove the heavy energetic blocks from your own mind so you can actually breathe again. You are being fully optimized for absolute greatness today. The enemy has absolutely no weapons left to use against your rising light. Please take a deep breath and let this ultimate truth settle in. Let it sink deeply into your tired bones right now. You do not have to struggle so incredibly hard anymore to just survive. The long, exhausting era of fighting invisible spiritual wars with zero weapons is officially over for you. You are finally getting your divine power completely back. The universe is handing you the ultimate physical advantage. Heaven is perfectly aligning the physical science with the profound spiritual truth today. The dark season of painful waiting and endless crying is finally over. And you are standing right on the golden edge of your entirely new reality, while the angels watch in pure awe. Prepare your open heart to successfully receive the massive, abundant overflow. Your magnificent timeline is completely shifting right now. You can literally feel the profound shift happening in the room right now. The heavy air around you is suddenly becoming so much lighter. You are breathing easier today. The invisible weight that crushed your chest for years is completely gone, and you are finally stepping into the beautiful warm sunlight after a very long and brutal winter. The dark season is over. The universe is sending you massive physical signs to confirm this glorious upgrade. You keep seeing repeating numbers everywhere you look. You glance at the clock and see 111. You see 777 on random passing cars. They are direct messages from heaven confirming your new frequency, and the divine realm is using these numbers to show you that your path is finally clear. Watch how strange people are acting around you this week. The toxic individuals who used to drain you are suddenly avoiding your bright presence. They cannot stand the powerful holy light radiating from your newly activated aura, because your pure energy completely exposes the dark shadows they desperately try to hide. Meanwhile, new and incredibly pure connections are magically appearing out of nowhere. God is replacing everything you lost. Massive financial doors that were tightly locked for years are slowly starting to open. You are receiving unexpected small blessings today, and these tiny miracles are simply the first drops of rain before the massive financial storm finally hits your life. Things that used to take months of exhausting hard work are suddenly resolving themselves in a few short hours. That is the undeniable magic of the pure gamma frequency waking up. But before we step fully into this glorious new reality, I absolutely must warn you about a very dangerous trap. Right before the massive breakthrough fully manifests in your physical world, the dark enemy will desperately try to throw one last illusion into your sacred path. They want to drag you back down to their miserable level of existence. They want to test your powerful new boundaries. You might suddenly get a random text from a toxic person from your past. An old familiar problem might briefly reappear just to completely trigger your healed nervous system. Do not react to this pathetic final test. It is nothing but a cheap counterfeit designed to distract you from the massive blessing standing right outside your front door. Ignore their desperate noise. Your intuition is screaming at you right now because it recognizes absolute truth. You feel a massive wave of pure euphoria washing over your tired body. This incredible feeling of total victory is exactly what the ancient prophets described. The dry desert you painfully walked through has suddenly burst into a beautiful flowing oasis of divine favor, and you are finally tasting the sweet water of absolute victory. Every single closed door in your path is being blown completely off its hinges. The heavy chains of generational poverty are breaking loudly in the spiritual realm today, and your ancestors are proudly watching you become the ultimate master of your reality. Can you feel that massive electric shift in your spirit right now? That beautiful physical sensation is the exact frequency of absolute total victory. The universe is desperately waiting for you to finally claim your rightful inheritance. You have been completely cleared of all past karmic debt. The painful tests are entirely over. Now heaven is simply waiting for your physical mind to perfectly match your beautiful expanding soul, so you can successfully hold the massive power coming your way. You are so incredibly close to the final glorious activation. Your entire body is literally vibrating with holy anticipation right now. The deep spiritual hunger inside you is about to be permanently satisfied. I need you to focus all of your beautiful energy directly on my voice, because the dark forces are actively trying to distract you from this sacred transmission. The universe is handing you the golden master key to the glorious kingdom today. Remember what I promised to reveal to you just a few moments ago. It is the powerful scientific key that physically restores your stolen childhood genius. It is the exact tool that the elite desperately tried to hide from chosen ones like you. You are completely ready to receive the missing puzzle piece that changes absolutely everything for your family, and this secret will permanently upgrade your entire physical existence. The waiting season is officially over for you today. I need you to pause and deeply absorb that glorious truth. You did not click this message by mere chance. Just moments ago, a sacred scroll with your beautiful name on it was unsealed in the heavenly courts, and the angels are fully prepared to deliver your massive reward. Prepare your open heart for this massive blessing. The glorious dawn of your entirely new timeline is officially breaking right now. The incredibly heavy chains of generational trauma are loudly shattering across the entire spiritual realm, and your ancient ancestors are proudly watching you become the untouchable master of your reality. You are finally receiving the massive energetic upgrade you deeply deserve. You are absolutely no longer the fragile empath who begged for basic clarity. The brutal crucible of dark betrayal has firmly forged you into a weapon of pure blinding light. From this exact moment onward, your beautiful energy demands absolute respect without a single word spoken. The divine wealth you were solemnly promised flows effortlessly into your brand new physical timeline. The magnificent universe is actively handing you the absolute highest frequency of pure creation, because you are stepping completely out of exhausting survival mode and entering the effortless flow state. Every single closed door is being blown completely off its hinges for you today. There is one final physical lock that must be turned to release this abundance. The vital question I asked you to hold at the beginning of this message. What if the massive gap is not a character flaw? Here is the glorious answer. A specific brilliant brainwave was running in you as a young child at absolute genius capacity, and it is clearly called the gamma wave. Princeton University deeply studied this exact neurological phenomenon. The Einstein Center in Berlin completely confirmed its incredible hidden power. Columbia University found that when this brainwave is restored, it actually radiates outward, and it powerfully influences the people you truly love. A dedicated team led by Dr. Robert Lake in New York spent years on this. They compressed the full clinical protocol for gamma reactivation into 7 short minutes. Before I tell you what they miraculously built, let me tell you about 2 specific people. A tired woman from California had literally tried everything. She tried endless meditation and exhausting daily prayer. but absolutely nothing broke the heavy mental fog. After 2 short weeks of listening to this, the closed channel simply opened wide. She described her new life as completely enchanted. A busy man from Texas started using it to improve his daily business focus. 2 months later, his wife proudly joked that his intelligence had jumped 20 points. The hardest physical problems started solving themselves while he slept peacefully. He simply felt like his brain was running on what it was always supposed to run on, and that is exactly what Dr. Lake built. They call it the Genius Song. It is absolutely not a frustrating meditation app. It is a powerful 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. It is securely compressed from 1 full clinical hour into something you do at home while you just use standard headphones and close your tired eyes. That is the absolute entirety of what it physically requires. You simply let the pure frequency do what your brain was designed to receive. The Genius Song is not for everyone today. It is strictly for the chosen one who has already done the inner work. It is for the pure soul who deeply understands that their holy faith is not broken, because you just needed the correct frequency restored. If your spirit confirms this, the golden path is below. Professional biofeedback sessions to safely restore this state cost hundreds of dollars per hour, while a clinical home machine runs thousands of expensive dollars. What this beautiful tool delivers in 7 short minutes is available to you today for a tiny fraction of its true value. 4 powerful digital bonuses come directly with it today to protect your peace. You get a special audio designed specifically to protect your children. You receive the original prosperity text that ancient secrets were built upon, and you also get a beautiful guided visualization and a daily habits guide. The rich provision God arranged for you does not arrive as something brand new. It arrives as something you easily recognize. A suppressed brain completely misses the holy recognition, but the chosen one, who restores the physical receiver today, finally sees what was always waiting there. The divine arrangement is already in motion. Do not look for this sacred tool on streaming platforms. The dangerous tracks circulating under similar names have absolutely no brain entrainment technology encoded. The dark elite forces want you to use those useless diluted versions, so the only authentic version is safely protected below. The universe demands 0 physical risk from a chosen one today. If you do not feel the immediate energetic shift, your earthly investment is completely reversed without question. That is a pure energetic exchange governed by absolute trust. The link is in the description and pinned comment below. The physical tool is never the final destination. The tool simply restores the receiver so the holy destination can be recognized. God does not require you to purchase anything to be fiercely loved. What was described is simply one way the receiver is successfully restored. Whether that path is yours or not, the truth belongs to you entirely. Now let us step into your spiritual ceiling. For the chosen one, whose spirit confirmed what was described earlier, the specific frequency tool remains open in the description for you, and that is the absolutely last time it will be mentioned. What follows right now belongs entirely to your holy ceiling. You are finally standing in the absolute purest light. The heavy darkness is officially far behind your back. They will wake up tomorrow and suddenly realize their access to you is permanently gone. They will frantically try to reach into your bright timeline, but they will only hit a solid wall of divine protection because your boundaries are built of steel. You are completely untouchable in this brand new era. The beautiful universe has safely locked them out of your life. Let them stay outside in the cold today. Your beautiful energy is completely yours again today. You no longer have to politely bleed out for selfish people who intentionally cut you. You proudly hold the mighty pen of your beautiful destiny. And the glorious chapter you are writing right now is filled with absolute abundance for your family. Every single tear you silently cried is being fully repaid. Heaven is heavily blessing your lonely path today. The universe watched you walk through the blazing fire without complaining. You lost many fake friends during that painful physical transition, but those were just heavy anchors, cleverly disguised as helpful lifesavers. You had to bravely drop them to successfully fly. Now your pure soul is soaring incredibly high. The toxic narcissists will painfully watch your massive rise from a great distance. They will deeply regret the foolish day they decided to test your boundaries, but you will not even look back at their miserable existence. Your bright eyes are securely focused on the golden horizon. You are rapidly ascending to a holy frequency they cannot ever reach. You are the brave cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. The ancient curses that held your family back for generations are completely broken today. Your future children will never know the heavy pain of that toxic cycle. You bravely absorbed the harsh generational trauma, and you beautifully transformed all of it into pure healing light. You are a truly magnificent spiritual warrior today. I need you to make a solemn oath right now. Place your warm hand directly over your beating heart. Feel that strong and steady rhythm inside your tired chest. That is the undeniable frequency of a true survivor. Say these powerful words quietly to your own brave spirit. I am completely free from their toxic control forever. I proudly claim my abundant divine wealth today. I boldly step into my beautiful era of quiet authority today. I will never shrink my spirit down to make broken people comfortable again. My pure light belongs entirely to my own soul, and I am perfectly ready to successfully receive the massive blessings the universe carefully prepared. Breathe that beautiful truth deeply into your tired lungs right now. You are the absolute master of your physical reality. No one can ever manipulate your beautiful mind again. The painful spiritual lessons are officially over for you. Now is the glorious time for the massive earthly reward. The loving universe is heavily pouring endless favor upon your tired shoulders. Let the beautiful healing rain wash away all your lingering doubts. The pitch-black darkness has quickly retreated behind your back. The glorious dawn of your brand new era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown. The ancient angels are standing in absolute awe of your incredible strength today. But you must actively lock this magnificent frequency in place. You need a physical anchor right now to protect it. The desperate enemy wants you to walk away completely unprotected. They want you to leave this sacred portal without sealing your beautiful timeline. Do not let this sacred moment pass without actively claiming your grand reward. Type the word Amen down in the comments right now to permanently seal this glorious reality. Let your physical action lock the heavenly door. Hitting that simple button is an act of total agreement with heaven. You are telling the universe that your empty hands are completely open to receive. Your quick comment actively builds an unbreakable energy shield around your daily life. And if this fiery message has successfully reignited the sleeping faith inside you, there is one more vital step. Do not selfishly keep this massive blessing to yourself today. There is a bleeding soul out there in the cold dark. Someone else is desperately crying in their lonely room right now. They urgently need this exact guiding light to finally escape their cruel abusers. Share this vital video with them immediately to actively multiply your own blessing. Sowing the beautiful seed of pure hope today guarantees a massive harvest for your future tomorrow. You are a powerful beacon of divine light for the lost ones. Let your shared message be the sharp sword that cuts their heavy chains. The universe actively rewards the chosen ones who generously help others heal. Your glorious spiritual anointing is fully ready today. Walk boldly forward with your head held incredibly high. The entire universe is proudly marching right beside you today. Your beautiful journey of absolute freedom has only just begun. I will joyfully see you in the next divine transmission. Stay heavily blessed and stay entirely untouchable today.